I have this nephew, Brian, who I call Baby, and for the purpose of the story, I will continue to call him Baby. And we were going to get the mail once, and he threw a rock at one of our neighbor's cars, and I was kind of like, we're not going to get the mail now. You're going to go home, and you're going to go on timeout. And he did his little thing, his little 5-year-old thing where it's like, no, I'm not going on timeout. You can go home without me. And I was like, Brian, you're going home and you're going to go on timeout. And it turned into this whole back and forth of me just being like, we're going home, start walking. And him being like, no, I'm staying and I'm going to get the mail. And then, just by luck really, a motorcycle decided to just like drive down the road. And we couldn't see it because there were trees covering the main road. And it was like getting dark, and it was kind of scary because we live in a really heavily wooded area. And I was like, Brian, you hear that sound? And he was like, yeah, what about it? And I was like, that's the kid eater. And then he kind of paused, I could see it in his eyes. And he was like, what's the kid eater? It was like, the kid eater eats kids that don't listen to Karens. And he was like, oh, and it was like, Brian, do you know what I am? He was like, no. And I was like, I'm a Karen. And he was like, oh. And then I was like, I'm going home, Brian. I'll let you meet the kid eater. And then all of a sudden, I turn back around, start walking up the thing, and I just hear footsteps coming really fast. And I was like, Brian, what are you doing? And then he was like, no, I'm not Brian anymore, I'm Dennis. And then he just ran all the way back home. And he kind of has nightmares about the kid eater now. And one day, he drew a picture of himself outside playing. And then there was a tree in the background, and behind the tree, he drew the kid eater watching him play. And it's kind of an ongoing thing between me and him now. Whenever he doesn't listen, I bring up the kid eater and he stops. And that's the story.